Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to you wherever you are in the world. Welcome to my channel. My name is Meg and I'm a fully qualified yoga teacher, a beautician and a masseuse. And this is my YouTube channel where I talk a lot about yoga, tips and tricks, and things that you guys can follow along from home, but also some health and wellness as well. So if that is something that you're interested in, go and hit the subscribe button, and it means every time I post up onto my channel, you guys get a notification so you never miss a class with me. Today, I'm going to be doing a post-run stretch. This is yoga that you can then, or stretching that you can supplement in after you've done a run. You don't really need anything to do this practice. If you have a good quality mat onto a hard surface, that's always what I recommend. However, if you don't have a mat, it's not the end of the world. It's better to stretch without a mat than to not stretch at all. And when you're ready, we'll get started. We're going to start in our tabletop with our hands underneath our shoulders. Our fingers are spread. Your index or middle finger is facing forward and your inner elbows are spun to face the front of the mat. Your knees are underneath your hips. We're going to come into some cat-cow spines from here. So lifting the tailbone, dropping the belly, squeezing the shoulder blades together, gazing forwards. We'll hold this for a couple of breaths. Really focus on lifting that tailbone, pushing up through the arms to get a good stretch across the shoulder blades. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. And then we'll tuck the tailbone under, lift through the belly, spread the shoulder blades apart from each other, and the chin tucks in towards the chest. Holding this for a few breaths again. Push through the hands, push up through into the floor. We'll do one more each way. Into your cow spine, lift the tailbone, drop the belly, squeeze the shoulder blades together, gazing forwards. Keep lifting, keep squeezing, find that stretch in your back. And then we'll take it the other way. Tuck your tailbone under, spread through the shoulder blades, chin tucks in towards the chest. Let's do a few cat-cows on our breath. So lifting the tailbone, dropping the belly, squeeze the shoulder blades together, lifting up, deep breath in, hold, and then tuck the tailbone under, lift the belly, spread through the shoulder blades, chin tucks in towards the chest, exhale, hold. Lift the tailbone, drop the belly, squeeze the shoulder blades together, lifting up, inhale. Tuck the tailbone under, lift the belly, spread through the shoulder blades, chin tucks in towards the chest, exhale. Let's bring the spine back into neutral. Take the hips from side to side here, just opening up through the hips after that movement. Maybe picking up that right leg, and we'll take it over towards the left hand side and gazing over towards that right foot. So we're starting to get a stretch into the outer hip here. We'll bring it up and bring it back into center. We'll do the same with the left hand or the left foot. So we're lifting the left foot up, stepping it over towards the right hand side, and then gazing over towards that left leg. Picking up the foot, and we'll bring it back into the center, back into those hip wiggles. From here, we're going to tuck the toes, tuck them under. You can either manually tuck them or you can roll back. Make sure they're all tucked in your inner squat and then take the knees down. We're coming into pins and needles from here. Interlacing the fingers, we'll squeeze the shoulder blades together and push them down. So we're getting a good stretch through the feet after this run. Maybe drop the head back. Push the hands down towards the feet. We'll bring everything back. Come onto the hands, we'll wiggle the toes. We're going to stretch the feet the other way here. So just sitting onto the feet with the toes pointed underneath, and maybe lifting one foot or one knee and then the other. Maybe you can lift both knees. Maybe you can lift both knees and hold it here. Getting a good stretch across the top of the foot. Let's come all the way up. We're going to take this into our gate pose. So we're facing the long edge of the mat if you're on a mat. We're bending into the right knee and taking the foot directly behind, and we're stepping the left foot towards the top of the mat, and then making sure your toes are facing the long edge of the mat. Coming all the way up. We're going to stretch over towards the left hand side, so towards the straight leg. Breathing here, maybe gazing up underneath the arm. This is a good stretch across the hip here. And then we'll go the other way. So we're going to take the right hand down and bring the left arm up and over. Squeeze the glutes here, squeeze the belly. Back up into the center, and then we're going to place both hands down in towards the floor so that your hands are underneath your shoulders, your fingers are spread. We're going to come into some cat-cow spines from here, so think about lifting the tailbone, dropping the belly, squeeze the shoulder blades together, gaze forward here, and then tucking the tailbone under, lifting through the belly and spreading through the shoulder blades. We'll do one more like this. And then we'll bring that leg in. Let's do the same on the other side. So we're going to take the right foot out to the side this time, coming all the way up. We're going to lean over towards the right leg, getting a good stretch across the left hip and the inner thigh of the right side. And then we'll come all the way up. We're going to go over the other way. And then we'll walk the hands forwards. We're going to come into our cat-cow spines from here. Hands are spread. And your hands are underneath your shoulders. We're lifting the tailbone, dropping the belly, squeeze the shoulder blades together, gaze forwards. And then tuck the tailbone under, lift through the belly, spread the shoulder blades, chin in towards the chest. One more each way. Lift the tailbone, drop the belly, squeeze the shoulder blades together, gazing forwards. And then tuck the tailbone under, lift through the belly, spread the shoulder blades, chin in towards the chest. Bring that right knee in. We're going to turn to face the short edge of the mat, and we're going to come either into a tabletop or a down dog, depending on how flexible your ankles are from here. So you can either come into your tabletop and just take the right leg long and try and push your heel back towards the back of the mat or the back of the room. If this feels enough, you can stay here. If you want more, we're going to pick up. So we're coming almost like we're in a down dog, and again trying to push your heel down into the mat. So if you were in a down dog, this right foot would be a lot further in towards the body. So by taking it further away and pushing down, we're getting more of a stretch into the back of the calf and the back of the ankle. all the way down the back of the leg. We'll bring that left knee down, and we're going to swap over to do the other side. So either staying in your tabletop and just taking the back leg long, flexing the toes, tucking them under, and then pushing your heel towards the back of the room. Maybe you can then pick up the toes or flex the toes on the right and lift the knee to shuffle back into your down dog. Again, pushing that back knee down. Your back heel down. And you should feel a good stretch into your ankle, into your calf. If not, take that leg further back and push again. You want to be able to not be able to touch your heel down into the mat. And then we'll slowly come all the way down. Maybe rock the hips from side to side if you need to. We're going to take this into our pigeon pose. So you can either stay in your tabletop, lift the right leg, take the knee behind the hand and the right foot behind the left hand, and then take the back knee back and behind into your pigeon. Or if you would rather come into it from your down dog, you can do. So you can lift up the right leg, bring the right knee behind the right hand and swing the foot so it comes behind the left hand. Flex through that right foot and push your back knee behind. So you're looking for a good stretch into your left hip. Hands are underneath your shoulders. We're pushing the floor and the mat away from you here. If you need more of a stretch, we're going to walk the front knee or the front foot to face the short edge of the mat, getting a deeper stretch into that hip. If your hips aren't if there isn't much space in your hips, bring your foot closer in towards the body. So this is your first stretch in your pigeon. Maybe this feels enough for you, maybe this feels good for you. If you want a little bit more, we can come down onto the forearms, maybe take this into a fallen pigeon. So when you are up onto your hands, your center of gravity is coming down through your hips, so you're getting more of a hip stretch rather than a glute stretch. When you then come forward onto your forearms, that center of gravity shuffles forwards and it becomes more of a stretch into your glutes. So think about where you've worked or where your body is aching after your run. If you feel like you need to stretch your glutes a little bit more, focusing on them, come down onto the forearms. You can always pop a block underneath the forearms. If you think your hips are a bit tighter, maybe come up onto the hands instead and sitting up tall so your center of gravity, there's more weight going through the hip. If this is feeling good and you're feeling like you've got a little bit more space, maybe you want to stretch out the quads a little bit more, we're going to start to take this into a mermaid. So if your foot is out towards the top of your mat, bring it in towards the body, keep flexing through that foot. If you're down onto your forearms, come up onto the hands. We're going to start by just picking up the back foot and squeezing the foot in towards your body. This is option number one. Already by doing this, you should feel a good stretch into your hip. So using your muscles to squeeze that foot in towards the bum to really get a good stretch into your hips, you're also gaining strength here. If you've got a strap and you'd like to use your strap here, you can. So you can always wrap the strap around the foot and then pull with the strap and pull the foot in towards you. If you want to use your hand, maybe grab hold of the foot and again push it in towards the body, you can. Maybe you want to take this into a full mermaid. So you're taking the foot on the inside of the right, so it's your left foot that's back and behind, and it's coming onto the inside of the left arm, so in that inner elbow crease. Right arm comes forwards. Maybe you can meet the hands together. So find what feels best for you in your mermaid pose. Maybe you just want to lift the back foot up. I can obviously do a mermaid pose, but I find When you use your muscles to push that leg in towards you, you're building strength into it's like active flexibility. So you're building strength because you're using your muscles to pull that foot in towards you, but you're also creating flexibility as well. So I find that this is the best way to do it, even though I can do a mermaid pose, because not only am I creating flexibility, but I'm also creating strength as well, because I have to use my muscles to keep that foot or to keep that leg engaged and in towards me. Breathing here. We'll take one more breath in. Exhale, bring the foot down. We're going to swap over and do the same thing on the other side. So you can either come back into your tabletop, hands underneath your shoulders, knees under the hips, lifting the left leg, taking it behind the left hand and swinging the foot so that your left foot sits behind your right hand, or you can do this from your down dog instead. So from your down dog, lifting the left leg, stepping the knee behind the foot and the left foot behind the right hand. I always get my lefts and rights muddled up here. Shuffling your back knee behind wherever you are, so you're getting a good stretch into your right hip here. Flexing through the front foot, pushing through the hands, breathing here. Breathe here. Like I said before, if you want to stay up on the hands, you can. If you'd rather come down onto the forearms, you can. Breathing, opening up through the hip, through the glutes. You might find one side is a little bit more flexible than the other. That's completely normal. Remember listening to your body. If your hips are tighter, doing your pigeon pose on your hands. If your glute is tighter, coming down onto the forearms. From here, we'll start to take this into our mermaid pose. So option number one, you can come up back onto the hands wherever you are, and we're just using our muscles to pull the knee in towards you. You can always pop something underneath that knee if you feel like you need to support it a little bit more. If, for example, you're in your pigeon pose and your knee doesn't go that far behind because your hip's not very flexible, you'll probably have a lot of weight on that knee. Whereas if you watch where my leg goes back, I'm actually sitting on the top of my leg, so I'm not putting pressure through the knee. So perhaps if your flexibility in your hip isn't quite there, just pop something underneath the knee and that will support it a little bit more. The more flexibility you get over time, the easier it is to do this without anything underneath the knee. So option number one, squeezing the leg in towards you, using your muscles here. And remember, we're bringing that front foot in towards the body, so it doesn't need to be up at the top of the mat anymore. Option number two, either using a strap or your hand, so wrapping the strap around your foot and then pulling on the strap and bringing the foot in towards your body, or you can grab hold with your hand and just squeeze that foot in towards you, getting a deeper stretch into the hip. You can always take this into a mermaid pose. So we're bringing that right foot on the inside of the right elbow, left arm comes out and in front. Maybe you can grab the hands together. Try and square the chest forward if you're in your mermaid pose, keeping strong here. Like I said before, I prefer just squeezing the leg in towards my body because I feel like I get more of a stretch. I also prefer flexing through the foot as well rather than pointing because I feel like I get more of a stretch in my hip when I flex through the toes. And again, it's active flexibility because you're actively flexing and then you're actively pulling the foot in towards the body. Breathing here. Deep breath in. Exhale, let's take that back foot down. I'm going to come into bound angle from here. So we're coming into a seated position wherever you are. Sitting up tall, we're going to take the feet together or the toes together. You can have the hands around your ankles or you can interlace the fingers and place them around your feet. Take a second here to breathe. Push the knees down in towards the mat. Deep breaths in and out. If you want a little bit more, you can fold over the feet here. So instead of thinking about bringing the head towards the feet, think about lifting up tall through the spine and the hips, squeeze the shoulder blades together, push your tailbone back and behind, lead with your chest. So think about pushing the chest forwards and then down, and then just let the head hang where it feels comfortable. You can take the forearms down into the mat, you can take the hands down into the mat, whatever feels best for you. We'll take one more breath in here, coming all the way up. Let's place the hands behind you, feet wide, knees up, and we'll drop the hip knees from side to side. Just a little bit of hip mobility here. Coming back into a cross-legged seat when you're ready. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. It's a really good one to just pop into your workout post run. We're stretching out all the way through the body, the hips, the backs of the legs, the feet, the calves, everywhere that running tends to tighten up. This is something that you can do after every single run as well. So it's not just like a once every now and then. Try and make sure once you've done a run, whether it's on a treadmill or outside or wherever, short distance, long distance, get a stretch in when you're done. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and please subscribe. I can't tell you enough how much it means to me when you guys support me, whether you're liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, even just watching these videos. Honestly, it makes a big difference to the support in my channel. So thank you so much if you have been doing all of those things. You can also send me super thanks as well if you want to contribute to this lesson. Obviously, that will mean everything to me. That will be amazing, but anything you can do to support this channel honestly really does mean the world. So thank you so much. And I look forward to practicing with you all again soon. Have an amazing day. Thanks. Bye.